YouTube, All Muscle here. Today I'm going to be attempting something that I've never done before, and it's going to be on this E-Class Mercedes. This is my wife's car. As you can see, the rear springs there. This is the air suspension, the Airmatic, and they go out. And a lot of times people, when they have this issue, they basically either sell the car or part it out or whatever, because it's so expensive to get these repaired. So the dealership, as far as I know, charges upwards of $2,500 to get this job done. And I went ahead and ordered the springs. I've got one of my neighbors here works at the Mercedes parts department, and he's getting me a good deal on them. So this particular car went and had a little incident, and basically got sideswiped all the way down, from the beginning of this fender here all the way down to the tail section. And I've as you can see, I've already replaced the panels, and the only thing I have here is, you can see it in the shadow there, this damage here. A little bit down here by the tail light. So I'm going to get into that later. I'm not going to deal with that. But here's the old parts. Here's the fender. I happened to come across another car, and let me show you that. And this is going to be my parts car for a while until I get everything situated the way I like it on that one. So there it is. I have another 500 parts car. So any of the stuff that breaks on this job that I'm doing, hopefully I'll have. There's the door that was damaged. And then of course I showed you the fender. And unfortunately I just can't unbolt that rear tail section and quarter panel and put it on mine. But anyways, this car is a salvage unit. So what I'm going to do is get everything I need off the vehicle, and I might part it out. I might just run it back through the auction. So there it is. I'll update you on the status of the job, and I might get underneath the car and show you a couple things when I get under there. I know I have to lower the rear frame, subframe assembly with the IRS that's in there. I'm going to be lowering that, and then the springs, they come out when the whole rear subframe is down. So I'm going to show you that probably when I'm underneath the car across the street here. He works, like I said, he works at the Mercedes-Benz parts department. He's been there for like 25 years, so he knows his stuff. Anyways, there she is. I'm going to go ahead and get this all taken apart, and I'll probably show you a video at that point. Alright guys. Alright, this is an update on the Airmatic suspension on the E500. I'm going to go ahead and show you what I've got done. I'm going to do a series of videos on this, pretty much like how I always do on projects that I'm working on. I'm going to show you exactly what I've taken off so far, and what I'm going to be doing next. So obviously, first thing you can see is the car has been supported on jack stands here, right up on the frame, and the wheels and tires have been removed, both sides here. Also, what I've done is I've removed the inner Fender Well housing in here, and that's just really simple. There's these studs here, and you'll see that it has several of these studs, and they're 10 millimeter washer type nylon nuts. And there's going to be a 8 millimeter that you need to remove, and it's one screw that goes right into here, and this, you just got to wiggle the fender well out. So that's pretty simple. You do that on both sides. So next, actually let me finish going through. I've already removed the exhaust, the mufflers. I've removed them from the rear of the vehicle. all the way to that point there, and that's right about the midsection of the car. If you look at the car, right where the rear door is, it's been removed from the front of the rear door. It's right about even there, so you know exactly where that point is. It's been removed all the way back, and it just came out as a single piece. And I'll show that to you here. I've got it laying out. Why people remove the rear bumper though? When you wiggle out the mufflers, it's a tight fit in here, and you have to be careful, otherwise you'll damage the bumper or possibly chip it. So just be careful on that. I see why some people remove the bumpers, but it's not necessary. I've done it obviously without doing that. Here's the rear exhaust section. So we're going to come to the tail section. This is right where the exhaust exits the rear of the vehicle. You'll see a hanger right up in the top. If you look up, it's got 2 nuts that go straight to the frame on studs. So that is basically 1 nut here, another nut, and there's 4 of them, 1 on each side. So there's the 2 there. You're going to come to this point here, and there's a hanger. You'll see the hanger, also 2 nuts there on both sides, so that's going to be a total of 4. If you wanted to, you can probably take this down. I didn't have to, but you could take this out and get a little bit of flex on these mufflers where they would come in, and maybe be able to squeeze them out from underneath that bumper a little bit easier. I didn't have to, like I said, but I was looking at that and I thought that might be a possibility. But again, it's your choice on that. And then of course the main assembly up front here are these 2, basically another 2 nuts, 1 on each side, and then 1 on each side. So there's 4 nuts, and there's studs going through here on these retainers. So that's basically a total of 4, 8, and 12. So you've got 12 fasteners that will need to be removed in order to remove this exhaust rear midsection / midsection. Anyways, once you get all those loose, you'll have to slide this complete unit. You'll have to slide it back, because there's the front section slides into here, and it's pretty on there. So you're gonna have to use some force and slide this unit back. It's good to have 2 people on this. It's definitely not gonna hurt. So 2 people get this out fairly easily. Also, in order to uncover all of this, there were these 2 cover plates on the underside of the vehicle, and as you can see, there's little washer nuts here, and they're all throughout this. Just follow those. I think there's 5 or 6 on them per unit here, and that drops down the pans on both sides. There's a right and there's a left unit. Those have to come down. Of course, here are the Fender Wells. The Fender Wells, again, are fairly simple. Nothing too complicated about that. Let me show you exactly what the washer nuts that I'm referring to look like. This is what they're going to be looking like here. This is for the splash shield on the bottom of the car, the right and left ones that I showed you, and the Fender Wells they're gonna have these, and there's going to be some retainers, some plastic nylon retainers that look like this. Pull the pin, of course, get it all the way out, and then pull the complete unit out. And I think there's only a couple of these, and those go into the rocker panel. I'll show you that. I forgot about that. Forgot to show you that when I was telling you about the Fender Well. Those second style nylon retainers go into here, and those are a little harder to get out. They're a little tricky. So next, this is what I'm going to be doing next. The next step is I'm going to be removing the brake calipers, of course, on both sides. These lines here, there's 3 connectors on each side, and of course they fasten into here. They clip. You just follow that, unclip them, drop them down out of the way. Once I remove the brake caliper, I'll find a place to zip tie it if there's too much tension. I don't think there should be too much tension on it, but I'll see if I need to. I'll zip tie it to something and get it out of the way, maybe in this area here, or maybe place it on something. But like I said, I don't think there's going to be too much tension on it. It should be fine, just hanging there for a few. Also, what I'm going to be doing is removing the fuel filler neck. And the fuel filler, as you follow it up, this is where you fill up the car with gas. It goes all the way up here into the fender well. It comes down, you see the stainless pipe comes down, and at the very first point where you see a clamp, which is this guy right here, okay, that comes out, and then you drop that filler neck, and it's a rubber pipe. Drop that down. And also what I'm going to be doing is removing the shocks. The shocks sit right next to the air spring, pretty much right there, and this is the lower bolt here that retains the air spring in place, and this is the bolt for the shock. So we're going to be removing this, not just yet. Once we get the suspension down, which is going to be the rear subframe, I'm sorry, this is a E-Torx, and I believe it's a E17, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to double check, and I'll let you know as soon as I get to that. But this one here and this one here, I believe there's 4 total. So once I remove those 4, this unit should drop down if I have everything disconnected. Now the drive shaft will also have to come off, and what we're going to do on the drive shaft is remove the three Torx bolts. I've got it lined up and marked with this blue marker. I want to make sure it goes in the same exact position. You want to make sure this goes in the same exact position as you took it off. So there's 3 of these, and those will have to come off. I don't think it's this one. I think we're working on these black ones, and they're all the way around. So that's those are the main items that are going to be coming up next. Once I get a little further into the operation, I'll show you a little bit more. But as of right now, I think that's pretty much it. So signing off until the next one. This is kind of a long video, but if you're looking to do this should save you quite a bit of money. I mean, Mercedes, these shocks, these air springs are about $1,000 to get both of them. And if that's getting a deal on them. If you can't get a deal on them, then you're gonna end up paying upwards of like $1,400 for them. But anyways, to do this complete job, it'll be over $2,000 at the Mercedes dealership to get this done. So if you look through this and think that you might be able to tackle this job, I've never done it before, so I'm just going by what I've got, and obviously I have some knowledge of mechanics and working on cars. As you see all my other videos, I've worked on plenty of other stuff. So I don't really usually work on Mercedes, but this is the wife's car, so I'm gonna have to get it done for her. All right, guys, I'll show you what I got going next.